Escherichia coli as a tool for disease risk assessment of drinking water systems. What does it all mean? We're looking at the National Library of Medicine to find out. So many diseases have been associated with poor drinking water quality, including diseases caused by diarrheic pathogens, especially in developing countries where access to consistent water supply is a problem. That being said, it can still be an issue here in the United States, and E. coli is dangerous. The objective of the study was to evaluate the health risks associated with the sources of drinking water in the Dangmen West District of Ghana using E. coli as a measurement tool, aiming at asserting the past leading to contamination of the water sources, and a total of 464 water samples were obtained for analysis, and sampling covered a year across the dry and wet seasons in Ghana, and water samples were obtained from groundwater surfaces, water sources, and E. coli counts were determined using the most probable number method, the MPN. So what did they find? Water today is a scarce resource, particularly in the developing world, and 663 million people do not have access to safe water. Rural communities in sub-Saharan Africa account for more than 50% of the lacking potable water. Most of these communities therefore rely on untreated sources, such as streams, dams, boreholes, wells, and rivers to meet fundamental needs, such as drinking, sanitation, and cooking for their sustainable development. However, these untreated sources are contributing significantly to the global burden of disease as a result of water-infected diseases such as cholera, dysentery, and typhoid. Every year, millions of lives are lost worldwide, with a chunk in developing countries as a result of waterborne illnesses. And diarrhea is a major cause of the death of more than 2 million people per year worldwide, mostly children under the age of 5. And in fact, each day, nearly 1,000 children die to preventable water and sanitation-related diarrheal diseases. And good quality water is a vital deciding factor for human health, which directly relates to the socioeconomic progress of that country. Thus, the importance of the water cannot be overemphasized. In fact, sustainable socioeconomic development and the productive livelihoods can be built on access to water. Productive uses of water are employed at the household levels, including a range of small-scale domestic activities in agriculture and industrial purposes. Although the quality refinement for water varies from one sector to the other and from one-to-one of usage to the other, many of these activities have implications for public health because it can result in the transmission of waterborne diseases. And these water-related infections are a result of pollution of water sources due to anthropogenic influences, population growth, and urbanization. The pollution thus leads to development and propagation of pathogenic waterborne microorganisms. Escherichia coli is one of the major pathogens associated with waterborne diseases. Naturally, Escherichia coli, E. coli, is a facultative anaerobic bacterium that inhabits the largest gastrointestinal tracts of warm-blooded animals and is a major normal flora associated with the human colon. Therefore, the existence of E. coli in food, water, or normally suggests recent fecal contamination or poor hygiene projects in food processing facilities. Thus, fecal contamination or poor sanitation methods, poor storage conditions have a major influence in E. coli in the population. As we can see here with the information, this is a big problem. It is a problem in the developing world, but don't just regulate it to that, because that can also be a problem here in the United States or in other countries. That's why it's always a good idea to take a look and make sure that your water doesn't have any E. coli. But the only way to do that fully is to test it.